whether the any of the structure would even fit in this building. So, I was really happy with how everything turned out. Thought Down had a phenomenal night. A couple of injuries, but nothing too serious. And I think why this is the best in-ring brand in the business. New Year's Evil announced tonight, Jan 6th on USA Network. I also want to give a quick shout out to Ariel Hawani for being involved in our pre-show tonight. Is his analysis, just his point of view. I think he adds a lot. His credibility, his positioning. Ariel's incredibly smart. Is one of the most knowledgeable sort of fans of what we do. His knowledge of it and his love of it goes all the way back to being a kid. And for me, as we've connected with this over the last few years, I'm always impressed by his love of it and his passion and his knowledge for it. So, just want to say thanks to him. And it's going to be an exciting few months here as we roll into 2020. 2021. 20 hasn't been the best year for anybody. But I'm looking forward to getting into 21, getting on a roll. As you saw tonight, TikTok, Karrion Kross is back. Finn returns. We will be back, firing complete, and that's a good thing. And I can't wait to do it and to kick 2021's ass. So with that, I will open it up to calls, and we can talk about what was an amazing War Games.
Okay, everybody, one question per outlet, please. Thank you.
That's star one for questions. We'll first go to Mike Johnson with PWInsider.com.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Paul. How are you?
I'm great.
So what are you guys I'm doing good. What are you guys going to put on a good show? that was a hell of a show tonight.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm very proud of these. I was just saying to a bunch of people, talent backstage, that it's hard to perform, I think, in this environment and in this time frame where we are, in the world with limited fans and everything else. By the level of performance that they can put on, that they can block all that out and do what they do. The storytelling, to me, is where it's at. That last War Games match, these things were always train wrecks. A lot of intent, a lot of physicality, a lot of big things and big risks and all of it. But the truth is, when the story is great, and this last one was very, very story driven. It was all about the interaction between all these talent and their story, and that's what I loved about it. It wasn't just about the spot, and that's what makes it. So, to me, the women had an unbelievable night. We say it here, maybe the greatest division anywhere of anything. And I thought everybody else delivered as well. Tommaso Ciampa, Timothy Thatcher put on a clinic. Loomis and Grimes with a hell of a strap match. It was very physical and different. And then, Leon, Damian, and Johnny just, again, telling an amazing story that I don't think you could call all the way through it. And Johnny making history, becoming a 3-time champion. Leon being made. Damian Priest putting on another monster performance. Everybody got over tonight across the board. A lot of new players, a lot of new faces. So, thought we had a hell of a night.
So my question is, you mentioned injuries. It looked to me like Candice LeRae had injured her arm in the spot when Shotzi came off the ladder and Candice's arm ended up under the chair. Can you give us any clarity on how she's doing and what's the rest of the injury report for the crew at the moment?
Yeah, so we're right now, for the most part, bumps and bruises on everybody. The what you would expect out of this. Candice is getting checked out now. Getting her X-rayed and checked out, so I really don't have a status update yet on that. But you are correct. Possibly a broken arm, maybe we're not sure yet, but we'll see where that goes. Bobby Fish got a little bit of a laceration on his elbow, but we're not exactly sure if it's just the elbow, so we were just kind of waiting to see. But other than that, just bumps and bruises. I hold my breath on these kind of shows every single time. And tonight, certainly no different. But that is the extent of it, then we did well.
Well, everybody earned their money tonight, and you guys put on a great show. So I think I speak for everybody who saw it when I say thank you for that, and we hope everyone's okay. And I'll acquiesce to everyone else. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. And next we'll go to Gary Cassidy with ITR UK.
Hi, Paul. Thanks for taking the time.
Hey, Gary.
So, one of my favourite things about TakeOver is it seems to serve as a checkpoint for how talents are growing and maturing, both as performers and characters. And I know you've previously mentioned, star-making performances from Damian Priest. I think Raquel Gonzalez had one tonight. But what I wanted to ask was, I know that Undertaker has been very vocal about his previous work with NXT talent and even having conversations with you about maybe a more permanent role. Has there been any progress on those conversations at all? Or even more generally, are there any talents that you've noticed that have really taken advice from the Undertaker on board and upped their game accordingly?
Well, look, I can tell you this, that anytime Taker is involved here, anytime he's walked through these doors, everybody that's here is better for it. They all come out of here with a different perspective, a fresh viewpoint, and he's one of the most knowledgeable guys that has ever been in the business, I believe. He myself, I learn from him every time I'm around him. So he is looking now, I believe, to move into sort of the next kind of phase of his life, and we've talked a lot about it. It involves being here. It involves the future. It involves getting more into that. I would like to believe he has earned the taking a breath off of his retirement for a moment, but we've actually just touched base in the last couple of days, and that is something that coming out of the holidays we will certainly be talking about in 2021, which is just one more reason to be excited about next year with everything else that's happening. That having him involved, I can't stress enough how impactful that will be to everybody.
Couldn't agree more. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And next we'll go to Jim Barcelona with the Miami Herald.
Hey, thank you, Paul, Adam, and all the best for the year. What an outstanding takeover again. And especially the match order. I really like the match order as well with tonight's event. My question, with such a change in how things are done in 2020, has it come to a point that at a big show like this, you have a plan B ahead of time in case someone gets COVID? Or is it something not really planned for to deal with until it happens?
Well, look, I think it's always in the back of your head. I think for everything. I mean, you just if there's one thing 2020 has taught us, it's you can't plan that far ahead because the world changed on a dime. One week we were doing shows with packed arenas everywhere around the world, and the next week we were in an empty warehouse, so to speak. So you just have to constantly be ready. I think it's something that WWE does very well, and it's continued to do, over its 50 years or whatever, is pivot and change and move with the times, and that's something that we're always looking at doing. So you keep it in your head, whether that injuries, whether that something like the pandemic, it's always there. So you always are trying to think of plan B, and we've had to do that a lot, believe me, in the last 10 months or so. So it's kind of the new norm, but you just keep moving forward, and at the end of the day, it is what it is. And look, the truth is that goes for injuries as well, just as much as it does for anything else. I mean, if you would have told me that Balor and Kross would have been up the shelf at the same time, especially Kross coming out of a win over Keith Lee and becoming champ and having to move on, I mean, it's shit you just can't plan for that,
Well, thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Stay safe.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks. And now we'll move to Miguel Leiva with Marca.
Hey, Balor,
Hey, Miguel.
for having us today. First of all, congratulations on the amazing NXT TakeOver that we have seen. It has been an incredible show. Paul, NXT TakeOver War Games was the live pay-per-view for NXT this year, and we know that 2020 is not finished yet. We know that during the show, during the NXT TakeOver, we saw the announcement of the NXT Special, NXT Evo New Year. Also, we've got some upcoming NXT shows, but I want to ask